The Farewell is directed by Lulu Wang and stars Awkwafina, and this movie is about a Chinese family who discovers their grandmother has only a short while left to live and decide to keep her in the dark, scheduling a wedding to gather before she dies. So I have been hearing a lot of great things about The Farewell ever since it debuted back in Sundance last year, and I was very, very excited to actually hear what the movie was going to be just when it went wide here in the UK. And I feel like that The Farewell is a really special film. It's something that you don't get very often. It's something that comes along and just completely took me by surprise as a film that really was engrossing from start to finish, and I feel like this is one of the greatest films of 2019. Now, Awkwafina is an actress that I really like. I think she's really good at what she does. She's a brilliant comedic actress, and really is, when she's in a movie, I always enjoy her performance. But in this film, her performance is kind of spellbinding because there's something about it that's so different to what she's done before. This is not a comedic movie. This is not a comedic performance. It's so dramatized and it's so brilliant. I've never seen Awkwafina like this before, and I feel like if you haven't seen her like this before either, you will be blown away by her performance. We've always got used to her as being the comic relief character, but in this film she really delivers an extremely dramatic and extremely powerful performance that you just would never expect from an actress like Awkwafina. And I think for her to come out in this movie and show her range, it's really delightful to see, and I feel like this is going to really open up a lot of opportunities for her. Obviously we know she's going to be in the upcoming Marvel movie Shang-Chi as the female lead of that, so I feel like that this film really will blend into that as well, and I feel like that the dramatic performance from Awkwafina is unmissable, and it makes her one of the stars of the year. The family drama in this movie is one of the major themes that it explores, and I feel like exploring that theme was really fun because you got to see the dynamics of this family, and it's also the idea of clashing cultures. You have the family who are back in China who are very much for this idea of keeping the grandmother in the dark, not telling her she is dealing with a life-threatening disease and that she only has limited time to live. But then you have characters like Awkwafina's character, who has been living in the US pretty much all her life, and she is very much of the opinion that no, we should tell her that she's going to die. You don't want to keep her in the dark on that. You should let her know. That's definitely something she should know about. And I feel like that clashing of culture was really interesting to watch because you get to see these characters go back and forth with each other and explain, why they should, why they shouldn't, why they're wrong, why they're right. And there's a lot of really good dialogue there, which I found really interesting because I feel like, you don't really get a movie like this very often where the most interesting part of it is just family drama, and it's very, very fun to watch. And again, it's just interesting to see how different people view the world and view different scenarios. And, it's that clashing of cultures, the American, the West kind of idea going up against the East idea. And I really appreciated that in this film. And this film really does a good job of dealing with, just the death in the family idea. Again, we've seen the clashing of culture already, talking about, how people want to deal with it, but then seeing how the film actually wants to try and tackle that idea, again, is really nice because around the world, so many different cultures deal with death in different ways. There are a lot of people, us in the West, like in America and here in the UK, it's quite a somber thing. We don't like to talk about it. But then I've seen a lot of different travel programs throughout the years where I've seen other countries and other cultures deal with death, and they use it as a celebration. And I feel like that this film, having the idea of building this fake wedding to bring all the family back together to see her one final time before she passed away, it was just a really interesting, again, view on the world and view on China and Chinese culture and Chinese family culture that, again, I personally didn't know about, and it made it a very intriguing watch throughout the entire runtime. Also, this film felt extremely personal, and that is because this is really based on a story from Lulu Wang, the director herself. This is a story that she is very much familiar with, and what's interesting is Awkwafina's character is pretty much based on Lulu Wang. Lulu Wang grew up in the US, she's of Chinese descent, and she had to go through a similar thing like this movie's story. And even Awkwafina looks like Lulu Wang, which is kind of crazy. But I feel like that this film, you could tell it was personal. You could tell that this movie had, something to say. And I really appreciated that from the director because it came through the screenplay with absolute force. Overall, I think The Farewell is honestly one of the greatest films of the year. I think it's truly outstanding. I think it has an extremely memorable performance from Awkwafina, and the way it explores themes like family drama and death and the clashing of cultures, it just delivers a very interesting watch. And if you're very intrigued by how different, cultures deal with things in different topics, I think you'll really like this film and really know what it, really will appreciate what it's going for. And I feel like the personal touch from Lulu Wang really adds a lot to the film, and I really love what it did overall. And even though I don't really have any major negatives for the film, I just feel like that this film is just a really nice watch. I don't know, if I'll ever want to rewatch it because it is quite a sad film, but it's definitely an interesting one nonetheless, and one that I enjoyed for sure. And I'm going to give this movie a 9 out of 10. So have you guys seen The Farewell? If you have, make sure to let me know all your thoughts about it in the comment section down below. Did you like it? Did you hate it? Let's have a conversation about this film in the comment section down below. And as always, guys, if you want to see more movie reviews and movie related videos just like this one, be sure to subscribe, and I hope to see you guys again next time.